Hello everyone, how are you all? This is CA Rohit Grover, your faculty for Law and Auditing subjects at CA Intermediate and CA Final Auditing subject. So, welcome all to this video on the checklist of what you need to do for the CA Intermediate examinations, which are already happening. And first of all, I hope your Group 1 went very well and your Advanced Accounts paper also went very well. So I'm going to let you know the checklist of areas, like areas which you need to do first according to the sequence wise in your CA Inter audit examination, which is going to happen on 13 November, right? First of all, happy Diwali to all of you. And but make sure that you should not get carried away with the concept of Diwali and all. Must concentrate on the subject, right? Because Diwali to agle saal bhi aa jayega. Hopefully next year you all will be like celebrating the Diwali by being a CA final student. So let us start without any fail. So CA Inter November 23 checklist. So I will make you understand the areas which you need to cover first. Along with that, I'll tell you some presentation skills also, and I will also tell you the sources from which you need to prepare. If you are already preparing, it's okay, but I'm going to tell you the sources for MCQs, right? Basically, and looking at the pattern what the ICA is putting in the last few years, so I will throw some light on that area as well, right? So let us understand. So the first thing, the first chapter which you need to start, which you all need to start, is the company audit, everyone. What is the first chapter, everyone? Company audit. The reason being very simple. Company audit, as you all know, that it contains section number 138 to section number 148, and which is very much similar to your chapter called audit and auditors, which you have already done in your law as well, right? And I also definitely covered it while doing the auditing. If I remember, we did it as a very first chapter, company audit. Company audit definitely is one of the favorite area of ICA, so they are definitely going to ask you minimum nahi to 8 to 12 marks from this area, including MCQs, right? So the first chapter you all have to prepare is company audit without any fail. Start with that only, right? Second thing, you need to understand that key standards are going to come for minimum 35 to 45 marks in your examination. If I'm not wrong, in your MCQs, where the case scenario based questions are going to come, your standards are going to come for minimum 35 to 45 marks, including your case scenario questions as well as the subjective paper. So standards on auditing is the second priority. Standards on auditing is the second priority. Let me tell you the chapters from where you need to do this standard without fail. After doing the company audit, the very first chapter which you need to start is reporting. Reporting, if I'm saying 700 series, I'm talking about 700 series where you don't have essay 720. So don't by mistake do 720. 720 is not there in your portion. So 700 is there, 701 is there, 705, 710 and 706. Remember, this reporting series is highly important. Minimum 2 questions you can expect from the reporting series only, right? Along with that, definitely we have to do the Caro 2020. So in total, if I'll tell you, if you'll cover the reporting chapter and the company audit chapter, in total, I'm telling you, minimum, you will get the 20 marks in your examination, including Caro 2020 as well. So Caro 2020, 700 series reporting chapter plus company audit section number 138 to 148, which you have done it very extensively. So you are going to get minimum 16 to 20 marks at least out of it. Now, in the standards on auditing, let us go to the next favorable chapter which you need to do. That is called evidence and documentation. Reason being very simple, sir. Why directly evidence and documentation should be our third priority? Because in the evidence and documentation, you are going to do 230. You are also going to do almost the 500 series, everything relating to 500 series. As you all know that 540 is not there in your portion. SA 540 is not there in your portion, but make sure that you are covering the remaining 500 series. 500 series and 700 series, I'm telling you, the most important series. 500 series mein, you have 500, obviously 501, 505, 510, 550, 560, 570 and 580, you already have these total 9 standards including 230 in your chapter called evidence and documentation. Minimum nahi to 6 to 8 marks you can expect from this particular chapter only. Rather, I am telling you the minimum, but maybe there may be a possibility that ki 10 to 12 marks also may come. That is the second chapter. Third chapter you need to cover. So first we need to cover company audit, followed by that reporting, followed by that we need to cover evidence and documentation series. After that you need to do one chapter called evidence and documentation series. करने के बाद you need to do risk assessment and internal control chapter. And let me tell you one thing, in this chapter only you have the most important standard, SA 315, where you're going to understand what do you mean by the term called audit risk, plus the whole thing, everything about the internal control system chapter, right or not? Internal control system में you better must concentrate on components of internal control system. Components of internal control system. So these are the major things you need to cover here. Are you getting the point? So risk assessment chapter में you are going to do 315. After that, you should definitely do audit sampling chapter, which is nothing but your SA 530, and you should do analytical procedures, which is nothing but SA 520, right? With this, your total 500 series, 700 series, and the very important standard code 230 will be covered. Sir, what about the other series? As you all know that 400 series is not there in your portion. I will say that once these many standards you have covered, you should better concentrate on the chapter called bank audit. Let me tell you one thing, bank audit में से minimum 4 mark का question has to come. Reason being very simple, in the last 2-3 attempts we have seen that कि drawing power calculation question is coming in the examination. So you should make sure that कि bank audit should be on your fingertips. Bank audit में let me tell you the areas where you have to concentrate more. Full chapter you have to do. Disclaimer, full chapter you have to do. Area to be concentrate is the NPA area as well as the drawing power area. And audit report area. Read these areas very, very carefully, and you should be 100% certain in these areas. Bank audit, overall the chapter is very easy and little bit lengthy but very easy, but make sure that you are doing well justification with this chapter. Bank audit में minimum 4 to 5 marks are going to come. Okay? After that, followed by that, you need to do one chapter called audit of items of financial statement. Audit of items of financial statement में minimum 8 marks you are going to get, and you already know our formula. We have to pick up a particular item from a particular area, and we need to make sure that we are writing 3 to 4 points out of it. अगर TOT question आता है, testing of transaction, so you are going to write the correctness, completeness, accuracy, validity, occurrence. And if it is a TOB question relating to balances, you need to write existence, valuation, ownership, and all those areas. So make sure that audit of items of financial statement must be, it is a must chapter. I'm telling you I'm not telling you any ABC category. I'm telling you to cover everything, but in this sequence, right? Next thing what you need to cover is the audit of different entities. Obviously, audit of different entities may be you are definitely going to get minimum 6 to 8 marks from this chapter as well. Are you getting the point? Either they may ask you a government audit, they may ask you a cooperative society, they may ask you a cinema hall. Our formula will remain same if you remember. If it is functional audit, 4 income, 4 expenditure, 4 assets, 4 liabilities, that is the formula. If you remember, we have done that in class. And if it is a cooperative society, I already told you cooperative society is divided into 2 parts, that is called general considerations and special considerations. And if it is a government audit may CAG part first you need to do, followed by that different types of audit of expenditure, audit of receipt, stores and space, and commercial accounts undertaking. Must do chapter, right? After that, you should do automated environment audit in automated environment, right or not? This chapter is a must chapter because minimum 5 marks question you can expect from this chapter. Are you getting the point or not? So audit in automated environment is the next chapter which you need to do. Followed by that, then you should do the fraud chapter, right or not? Fraud chapter where you have done essay 240. where you have done essay 240 fraud chapter. तो risk assessment हो गया, fraud chapter हो गया, analytical हो गया, sampling हो गया. So these are the must category. These are the must category. I'm telling you, if you will do these many chapters which I'm telling you now right now, then only you will be able to cover 60 marks very, very comfortably. You don't have to worry at all. Total 60 marks are going to be there in your pocket. Okay? Then followed by that, you can do the chapters like, what do you say, planning and strategy. Planning and strategy chapter में I'm telling you, make sure that कि essay 300 तो definitely you have to do, plus essay 320 materiality, you should do it there itself only. Are you getting the point? तो अपना 300 series is covered, 500 series is covered in evidence and documentation, 400 series is not there in your portion. Yes. Internal control system में, when you are doing this chapter, risk assessment and internal control system, I will suggest that you should do essay 600 as 610 as well. You all know that 600 is not in your portion, 620 is not in your portion, but 610 you need to do. Right? That is using the work of which auditor? Internal auditor, along with section number 138. If you are doing in company audit, I will to suggest that there itself only you should do it. So with this, our all the standards on auditing almost are covered. Other standards, if I'll say, along with 240, do read 250, consideration of laws and regulations, and do definitely do 210. 210 initial audit engagement terms, agreeing to the initial audit engagement term. 200 anyways, the chapter number 1, which is nothing but called nature, scope and objective. If you'll do that chapter, 200 series will be almost covered in that only, because you know that 200, 210 and 220 we did it in that chapter, right? Now, this is what the sequence of chapters you need to cover. Must cover chapters. These are the must cover chapters. No anything, no scope of leaving any topic at all. I just told you the category wise. Ki first you should start with company audit, followed with reporting chapter, followed with evidence, followed with risk assessment, followed with sampling, analytical, bank, audit of financial, different items, audit of different entities, automated environment audit, fraud related, planning and strategy. So with this, our 100% coverage will be over. Now, once this coverage will be over, I will suggest that कि you should go to ICAI. ICAI.org पे जाके उनका एक MCQ बुकलेट है. We have an MCQ booklet where almost 170 normal MCQs are given to you, right? And almost 40 to 50 integrated case laws has been given to you. Integrated case laws. Let me tell you one thing. MCQs is that part which is going to be make and break for you. Remember, MCQs mein you can literally fetch 25 out of 30 also. But for that, you need to first do all the chapters. Because MCQs can only be justified once you are done with all the chapters, right? Sources I already told you. ICI.org पे जाओ. यहाँ पे आपको लॉ का, ऑडिटिंग का, सबका एमसीक्यू का बुकलेट दिया हुआ है. मेक श्योर दैट यू शुड डू इट. वन एमसीक्यू बुकलेट प्लस you need to do your attempt का RTP which is already been released by whom? ICI. आपको अपने attempt का RTP पढ़ के जाना है. तो this is how the total coverage you are going to do. So starting with the company audit, right? Followed by standards on auditing and followed by evidence. I'm literally requesting you, don't leave anything. Don't leave anything. But in case you have not started any topic yet, I know some of the students might be there who have already made the choice of topic. In case you have not started any particular topic yet, then don't do that in this time. This is not a right time. Good news is that you are already having 2 days even after your advanced accounts. So today, the 10th, your advanced accounts paper has been done. Today evening 4-5 hours you have. Next day 11th you have. 12th you have full day, and 13th ka morning part you have. So almost, if I'm not wrong, approximately 3 days of preparation you have. So I will suggest you that if you will go with this plan, particularly with this what I'm telling you, I will make sure that you will make sure, not I will, you will make sure that you will definitely be getting 60 plus marks. But make sure ICA ka resources are the best one. Don't do anything other than ICA resources. MCQ booklet also you have to do from ICA, and RTP also. Minimum your attempt ka RTP you must read. I am guaranteeing you, sir, I am guaranteeing you directly 20 marks you will find it from these two together. 20 marks. And 80 marks we are already covering above. Out of 100, if you are fetching 60 marks, direct exemption. I'm getting the point, right? Do you get the point? So make sure that you are not at all doing anything else. Concentrate only on auditing. How your advanced auditing examination has gone, that doesn't matter at all right now. Just concentrate only and only on auditing. And let me tell you one thing, it used to be a very difficult subject, but if you are conceptually very good, if you remember the concept which we have discussed in the class, make sure that just keep those concepts in your head. Read the question twice. Once you read the question, didn't understand, read it again, and didn't understand, then read it again, and make sure that you are doing it properly. Am I correct? So make sure that this should be your approach while doing the examination. Now, next point. And the next point, what you need to understand is keep presentation skills. See, presentation skills, I already told you, if it's a case law based questions, first write the provision, what the law or a section or a standard is talking about. If it is a case law based question, followed by you have to write one, what do we say, we call it as yeah, facts of the case, followed by that conclusion. Don't write the conclusion in the beginning, okay? Don't write the conclusion in the beginning. That is my humble request to you all, right? First write provision, then followed by facts of the law, and then facts of the case, and followed by the conclusion, right? This is what you need to do in the examination, right? Now, next thing is question number 1. When you will see the descriptive question, as you know that MCQ question you are not allowed to take along with you. When you will see the descriptive question, the very question number 1 is going to be correct and incorrect. Boss, this is hand-picked questions. Anywhere from the material, they may ask you. But if you're conceptually too much sound, I can easily guarantee 8 points are going to come, 2 marks each. You can easily do 6 out of it. I'm telling you, you can easily do 6 out of it. But make sure that read the line very carefully. They will try to confuse you by giving a negative language. Are you getting the point? You just concentrate on your understanding. If you understood the concept very clearly, accordingly, you should do that. So out of 8, you need to do 7. 7 into 2, 14 marks ka that portion. And out of that 14 marks ka portion, make sure that you are minimum getting 10 to 12 marks. I'm telling you, your half confidence is lying in your very first question only. And do attempt the first question very carefully. And in the remaining questions, you will get the 4 parts, 4 mark, 4 mark, 3 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark, 4 mark, 3 mark, 3 mark. Are you getting the point? Don't take any tension. Be motivated. I hope that your advanced accounts paper might have gone well, little bit lengthy. Even if it is not gone well, make sure that you are motivating. Self motivation is the only motivation you can do right now. No one can motivate you. I already told you in the classes during the examination, self motivation is the only tool. You see, your parents are not aware of the fact that what you are doing in the examinations, everything you only know. Self motivation is only required, right? So this is the criteria you need to do. This is what the preparation you need to do. Again, repeating, company audit first you need to do. Standards on auditing mein, obviously your whole subject is divided into standards on auditing, reporting series, evidence and documentation, risk assessment and internal control, audit sampling, analytical procedures, bank audit, audit of items of financial statement, audit of different items, automated environment audit must chapter. Make sure that 4 to 5 marks are going to come from there. Fraud 240 plus 250 plus 210 you should do. Planning and strategy last mein karna. Nature, scope and objective bhi last mein karna, because that is nothing but very conceptual, a very simple type of chapter where scope and objective, all those things you are talking about. But must read the MCQ booklet. You are having an advantage of 1 extra day in your auditing examination. Do make the most of it. The MCQ booklet ke sare question chart ke chale jao. Just make sure that those questions should be inside you. And plus your attempt का RTP and question number 1 के ऊपर concentrate करना मेरे भाई, you are definitely going to get the good marks, right? So that was all from my side. I hope I made a little bit your journey comfortable by telling you the sequence in which you should go. So all the best to all of you. Do well in your examination. Make yourself and your parents proud. All the very, very best for your auditing examination. See you guys in CA final very soon. Thank you so much. Bye everyone. Take care.